is going on, guys? It is Patrick here, and welcome back to episode 68 of the SmithSquad Podcast. Guys, I don't want to say rebrands, we've changed the setup. I am back at school finally. Honestly, it's been like a good 3 weeks since I've made any videos. I got back to school, I helped first years move in, or Frosh, which is actually one of the things I want to talk about today. And basically, I just kind of was like, you know what? I'm going to take like a couple of weeks break from YouTube. We got Black Ops 3 coming out in less than 60 days. And I was like, I need a little vacay. Just chill out. But it's so good to be back. Like, I had so much like anxiety being away. Like the first week was nice. It was like, all right, I need this. Second week, it was like, all right, this is good, you know. Third week, I was like, oh my god, like I'm a failure. I'm gonna lose my YouTube channel. I'm not putting anything into it. Like I'm so dumb. Why aren't I making videos? I'm gonna quit. All this like just stupid like awful thoughts. Just because I wanted to get back to it, and I was like so anxious about not making videos for such a long time. It was like maybe I'm gonna lose how to talk. Obviously, I haven't forgot how to do it. But anyways, it's good to be back. I've got a couple stories for you guys today because, like I said, it's been 3 weeks. What have I been doing? Where the heck have I been? Shameless plug. G Fuel. I don't do this often. This podcast is brought to you by G Fuel. Gamma Labs. Coupon code SMITH. Get yourself 10% off all G Fuel products. It gives you energy. What more can I say? Anyways, that was actually very unintentional. Stories. All right. So as I said, I got a couple stories for you guys over my last couple weeks of being away and just chumming out and doing my thing. So the first thing is Frosh Week. So if you're not familiar with university, if you're maybe younger or whatever, the first week of university is at most universities I'm familiar with is generally called Frosh Week. And how it works is it's like all the new students come in, so all the first years come in, and it's kind of like them getting introduced to the school. Now, notoriously, Frosh Week is a lot of drinking, a lot of partying, very, very dangerous time, but also a very, very fun time. And universities kind of around, at least North America, have kind of been trying to clean it up a bit, so it's a little bit less drinking and more activities and stuff. But it's still a lot of drinking. Now, like I said, they've been trying to clean it up, make it a little bit more safe for people. So it's like, look, we get you're a university student, whether you're legal or not, you're gonna drink. But the thing people are trying to do is kind of just make it safer, right? So they have like activities and stuff. And I was lucky enough that I got to run the first week of the Frosh Week. I'm gonna say Frosh Week. I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. We're not allowed to call it Frosh Week at our school, but I was lucky enough that I got able to run it. The house council for my building, this is my residence right here. Actually, I'll show you real quick. You've probably seen it, but that's my room right there. There we go. Look at that. Looking beautiful. Looking beautiful. I hit my microphone. Anyways, I think that was odd. There we go. Anyways, got the toaster. The toaster is so legit. So I got to like welcome in all the first years, run through activities and stuff. And last year it was really cool because I was like the first year coming in, and I got like, introduced in all the activities with all the first years. But this year I actually got to run all that. So it was like basically Frosh Week flipped on its head for me. And Frosh Week's honestly, like, I know I just explained what it is. It's like a lot of partying and stuff. It's really not that fun. People really overhype it, but it's really not that cool because like you're new to the school, you're homesick, it's a lot of activities. It's like go all day. A lot of people kind of described it like summer camp, except you're allowed to drink at it. So kind of a weird thing. As a first year, as a second year, you're confident, you don't care what other people think of you. You already have friends at the school, so you're not really trying to make first impressions, and you're not like reserved because you don't want to come off weird. You're just out there crazy. And you have to be out there crazy because, like I said, I'm putting on the events. So we're doing cheers. Like, we've got all these cheers for our building because there's like a building across the way that we hate. So we got like all these ones of why we're awesome and why the other building sucks. Like, example, like, this one was one we weren't allowed to use, but it's like it was like 3579. The residence that we don't like is called Chipman, so it's 3579 Chipman girls have STIs, things like that. Just crazy chants and all that stuff. But I was like the hype man. I was like the hype train, and it was so awesome because I know I'm I've definitely developed a great level of confidence in my YouTube videos. It's good now. But in real life, I'm miles ahead of what I used to be before I made YouTube videos. I used to be a very, very shy guy, very, very like reserved. I wouldn't really like say hi to people and stuff. And I'm way, way more outgoing now. But I'm not outgoing to the point where I can cheer and yell into a group of 100 people that I don't know. And that was basically my week. We got here first. Everyone got here first day. And we helped move in, and it's like everybody down to the front of the building, and like we're just teaching the chants, and I'm like, I've got a flag around my neck. I've got like a headband, and I'm like fist bumping in the air, yelling my head off. It was like just the coolest thing ever. So that was kind of like the vibe of the week. It was that. And at the very, very end of the week, there's like kind of a contest between all the different residence buildings that basically you have to do a dance. So we taught our froshies the dance, our first years the dance, and we go to the gym, and it's like this big event, and there's chanting and cheers and all this stuff. It's a really, really good time. But at one point, it was like all the leaders had to go into the middle of the place, and like I should actually back up for a second. I was completely painted green from head to toe. If you want to see any pictures, you can go to my Instagram, The Real SmithPlays. It's TheSmithPlays, but it's The Real SmithPlays. Exact same spelling on my channel, except you got that real in there. Go follow me up, because I know everyone always wanted me to have Instagram, and I never got around to it, and then someone stole The SmithPlays. But The Real SmithPlays, that's me. So if you want to go see the pictures. But basically, I was dressed green from head. Actually, you know what? I might be able to bring it up for you guys, because it's worth showing you. It was, like I said, something I've never ever done before, never even thought about doing. I don't even have it on my other Instagram. So I'm gonna have to go to my personal Instagram, which hopefully, okay, is there any way I can show this without? I think there's a way I can show this without showing my. There we go. Okay, so what we're gonna do this real sly. There we go. So, this is me. Green cape, sunglasses, and this is like in front of probably a good 1,000 people. So I'm dancing, yelling. It was just one of the craziest experiences of my life. I said, I am friendly. I'm way more confident than I used to be, but I'm not that outgoing. Like, I am generally a quiet person, unless I'm not. And that's the thing, is like, I kind of was like a growing experience for me, because I realized like I've got two spectrums. I'm one or the other. And YouTube, it's so clear on YouTube, I'm one or the other. There's very, very energetic Patrick, and then there's like just chill Patrick, right? And like I kind of like mix that in with my videos. So when I'm doing a live com, like something crazy happens, I'm crazy, and then we're just chilling and we're just chumming, right? So it was really cool to see that happen. And like I said, it was just a very, very fun experience. And if you ever have the opportunity to get painted up with body paint, I highly recommend it. But make sure you take a shower afterwards, because that stuff is gross. So anyways, getting to my second point I want to make is Frosh. The name Frosh. If you've never heard the name Frosh before, it's, like I said, it kind of has a notorious meaning, a kind of negative connotation, that Frosh is related to hazing people, so like making them do things they don't want to do, getting them way, way too drunk, and just like a lot of bad connotations to the name. So this year, what they said is you're not allowed to call them Frosh. It singles people out. It makes someone feel excluded, or feel weird. So you're not allowed to call them Frosh. It's called them first years. And another part of the thing is we give people nicknames. So like you get a nickname, and I'll be honest, they're very awful nicknames. Like last year, I had a buddy. He got named Spermy Frosh. Now there was a game to the whole thing. So if you got there was condom Frosh, there was egg Frosh, and there was sperm Frosh. So if you're so there's like an egg, and they have to run away from the sperm, and then the condom has to help keep the person. So it's basically a game of tag, is what it is, but it's like a joke, right? And it kind of, I guess, encourages safe sex at the same time. So it was like it was a really funny thing. but obviously, it's kind of like, it sucks to be called Spermy Sean was his name. We called him Spermy Sean all year. And now he hated it, but it was like a friendly kind of joke that, you would only say because we're friends with him. It's like, it's just a funny nickname. So that was another thing they just kind of like completely got rid of. And it's got me thinking of like how much people are trying to nerf the world. And I noticed it the most at university. In the academic world, it seems like more so than anywhere else, we're trying to nerf the world so that we don't want anybody's feelings to get hurt. And the reason I'm sure people, at least in the academic world, I think people would say it's because we don't want anyone's feelings to get hurt. But I think the real meaning is we want to look good, we don't want to look bad, so we need to nerf the world, which I hate. I absolutely hate. I work out probably 4 or 5 times a week. I was down at the gym today at my school, and they have a speaker there, which you can plug your own music in. And last year, it was like, play whatever music you want, the most crazy heavy metal. It can swear, it can curse, we don't care. Because it's a hardcore gym. It's an athlete's gym. So it's like guys lifting 500 pounds. Like, it's like a manly, I shouldn't say manly because there's a lot of girls that go there too, but it's like a very intense and physical gym. It's like you're going there to get a good hard workout. And part of it was like the music and just the atmosphere is a great vibe. And I think it was at the end of last year they got a new rule because someone complained. Somebody was offended. They were offended because someone was playing music that had profanity in it. Isn't that a great word? Profanity. I hear profanity. What is profanity? But anyways, someone complained and the school was like, no, you can only play music with no profanity, no racial slurs, no any like sort of negative anything. Basically, I think what it says is no profanity, racial slurs, or language that would offend anybody. So it's like, okay, you basically want to nerf the world again. And I was playing music today. I was playing some rap music, which is kind of notorious again for having I don't want to say improper, but language which may offend. And the first 2 songs were fine. I didn't even think about bad music. The third song that comes on is by an artist by the name of J. Cole. Now, if you're not familiar with J. Cole, his most recent album, Forest Hills Drive, I'm pretty sure every single song on that album is explicit and says the N-word like at least 5 times. I wasn't really thinking, so I just let it play through. The song was Get Off My Dick. So literally the name is could be construed as profanic. Is that a word? I don't think has profanic. It's whatever. You get what I'm saying. So the song goes about halfway through. And it was only me and my best friend in the gym. So it was like, it wasn't a problem. It was like, I wasn't even thinking about it, but it was like, it wasn't a problem. And the trainer at the gym comes down and is like, yeah, we can't play music. And it was like, okay, number one, I should say, the guy was very, very cool about it. Like, he was kind of the same attitude as me. It's like, I don't care, but we're going to lose the speaker if, like, the deal was we can only play good music or we lose the speaker, so we got to play good music. And he was very, very cool about it, just being a G about it. He's like, look, man, like, I know it's the start of the year, people forget, whatever, but it really got to me. It really got to me of just how much people are trying to nerf the world. We're trying to make it an environment where not is it that people are being like, it's not like, oh, we just want everyone to be nice. It's like so extreme in one direction, but so extreme in the direction of anything that could be possibly maybe even 1 out of a million people construed as being offensive. We don't want to do that because we don't want to alienate that one person. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Now, I think there's a fine line. I guess, see, it's a weird thing because, like, I think profanity, and it's like, oh, we can't play profanity at the gym. Well, why not? I go to a university. If you're in a university, you're going to be 18 years old. And what is like a rating for people who are 18? Oh, 18 plus. So, okay, I'm playing 18 plus music. That's fine. There's no kids around. Why would anyone be offended if I say the word fuck? Does that offend you? It's just a word. A word only has as much power as you give it. So why the fuck is fuck an offensive word? The only reason it is because we make it out to be a big word, but it literally means cat. It's just a noise we make with our faces, and we have a connotation of it that could make it be offensive. And I get that, and I'm sure there's a kid listening right now, and it's like bad. And I try not to swear in my videos, but I do when I need to make a point, and this is the point right here. That is an aspect of it, right? We don't want to swear around younger people. We don't want to give them the bad thing. But even that I kind of question, because it's like, okay, we don't want younger people to swear, but they're going to be older people eventually, right? Now, people that like everyone knows someone that just every two words of their mouth is the F word, and it's like, okay, you don't want to do that, but it's like there's that, but I think there is importance in unknowing that language, and when we say like, oh, we don't want younger people to know this language because they're young, it's like, yes, but to act like they're going to be forever young, like, it's okay if it's more okay if an adult swears than a kid, but why? Because that kid is going to be an adult someday, and if you're younger, I'm not saying go tell your mom to F off, but what I'm saying, I'm putting out the idea of what is the point? Is there really any value in the I don't know how to say it. Is there really any merit in not using inappropriate language? Now, in some context, absolutely. Like, if I'm going to talk to my professor at school, I'm not gonna swear. Very likely, unless it calls for it. But I can't see a situation that would. But in some settings, it's absolutely fine. If you're hanging out with your friends, why does it matter? You're not offending anybody. So I don't know. Profanic language is something to me which I don't really get. I don't think it's only a big deal because people make it a big deal. And people my age don't care. But older people do, and I don't see the merit. I don't know how I feel about it like being a thing. Well, we don't want younger kids, because I see the point of that. Well, yeah, we don't want like 10-year-olds swearing all the time. At the same time, it's like, I mean, they're gonna be adults. I don't know where I stand on that. But I definitely think that at the end of the day, a word is only as powerful as you make it, and when you give it power to offend someone, that's your fault, not the person using the language. The next point, like I said, was, so we had no profanity, no racial slurs, and this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. Racial slurs can be offensive. I mean, there's no doubt about that. If you call someone, I don't know, anything, it's kind of hard for me to empathize with that because I'm a white male. I've never been called anything that offended me. I've never been in a situation where, actually, that's a lie. I've been in like 99.9% of my life, I have been the majority in the room, of any room of outside white male. I mean, white straight male. Like, how much more, you know what I mean? Like, majority can you get? But I mean, even being a guy in this day and age, it kind of seems like we just have to suck. And that relates into everything just going so extreme. But racial slurs is a weird one, like I said. I hear the N-word in a song. I don't think twice about it. I think, obviously, the group that would offend is a black person, and it's probably being more often than times sung by a black person using that language. And that's a very weird thing, because it's like, okay, who is, like, I don't know who's being offended there, and like I don't really, I get that they don't want to have racial slurs in music. I get that, but again, I'm just questioning things. I'm saying, well, all right, like, white people shouldn't be offended by the N-word. You're white. It's not targeting you. Really, no group other than black people should be offended by it. But I think that's kind of become a word that black people use just to insinuate like friend and things like that, right? So in that sense, it's like, where's the line there? I think profanity is way less of a big deal than racial slurs. And like I said, I get and I respect the fact that it's like, all right, we don't want to have racial slurs in the music. I do get that. But like I said, I just wanted to throw that question out there of really, who is it offending? I'm sure like it's a small group. But the last part of this is what really caught me, is that anyone who is offended, any language that may offend someone, really, anything that might offend someone, I can't play. I want to listen to a song that talks about, I don't know. Great. Here's a great example. There's a song, Ill Mind of Hobson 5. I'm sure you've heard about it before. And basically, he just calls out a lot of different groups. He calls out college students who just all they do is drink and smoke. He calls out sluts, and he calls out like gangsters, kind of like people who sell drugs and stuff like that. Very powerful song, very, very thought-provoking. It's like, well, that song would offend one of those three people who sell drugs, sluts, and college students that just drink and smoke. Just because you're offended by something doesn't make it invalid. Being offended means nothing. If I say something and it offends you, what does that do? Does that do anything? Like, you are offended. All of being offended does is it's just a way for people to whine. When you hear something and it says that offends me, I'm offended by that song, I'm offended by what you just said, you're achieving nothing. You are doing absolutely nothing other than whining. All you're doing is making a statement. That's like me saying, that song makes me happy. Okay, great, it's good, I'm happy, but that's a positive emotion. You're offended. Okay, are you gonna do anything about it, or are you just offended? It's like the most whiny, self-centered, I'm offended. What do you want to happen about that? Now, in some scenarios, being offended, I guess, could lead to something good. So, I don't know, someone saying, like, only white males can go on this bus. That offends me. Okay, so you do something about it. So in some situations, I guess being offended is important, but that's not really being offended. That's a more extreme emotion. I don't know what the emotion would be, but that's a random example. But I think we need to chill on the whole, let's not offend anybody in the world, because need I be reminded that people are not nice. And when we try to bubble wrap the world, it's just not going to work. There's too many people out there that will always have a shitty mindset and be bad. And I think that's okay, because the contrast between bad people and good people kind of is nice. Like, when you meet a really awesome human being and it's like, this person it makes me so happy. If everybody was that way, would it really mean as much? Like, if everybody's nice, nobody's nice. If everybody is above average, that new above average becomes the average, and then to be above average you have to go up and beyond that. So when you have really terrible people and really nice people, it kind of balances out, right? You got like ISIS. If you're in ISIS, you're probably a douchebag. However, if you're a really nice, genuine human being, that contrast is kind of a good thing. Now, I'm not saying ISIS is a good thing, but if you're looking at the one positive that ISIS does, is it shows you awfulness, and then you have left with good things to contrast it to. I'm not a supporter of ISIS. I just want to clarify. Why would I even need to say that, right? Because I don't want to offend anybody who might think that I support ISIS. I said something good about ISIS, and that offended somebody. Patrick, you said you made a good comparison about ISIS, and you talked about ISIS, which I don't like. That offends me. You see the point? What is the point of saying you're offended? There is no situation where really being offended does anything. It doesn't solve anything. It's just a meaningless whine that you want someone else to change because you have really honestly, I think, a shitty mindset. We shouldn't teach people that being offended is good. You shouldn't be offended by anything. You should never take anything personally. That's like one of the biggest things. If you take something personally, so like you're walking down the hallway and like, I don't know, a guy like gives you a dirty look. You go instantly, a lot of people, your ego will, defense mechanism, and then offense. What a prick. That guy looked at me bad. Maybe he's having a bad day. Don't take it personally. Don't automatically assume that it's a flaw with you, which is what the ego really does, is it takes it out. Don't automatically assume that's a problem with you. That guy might be having a bad day. Maybe he's just not a nice person. But when you take it personally, when you say, that guy is attacking me, it's just kind of a shitty way to think at the end of the day. I don't know. That's how I see it. And then moving on, like there's so many examples I could think of, especially like I said in the academic world, of people not wanting to insult other people. Like, and like I said, I think there's a line, and I don't know where that line is. Like gender neutral bathrooms. Is that a bad thing? Not really. It doesn't hurt me if I'm peeing and a girl's peeing in the same bathroom. I don't really care. There's a balance. There's a line that we need to take. I feel like it's going in a very like imagine like a pendulum, like it like shifts back and forth. I feel like we're at the very, very far end of like the pendulum swing. It's like we're at that very, very peak point. It's gonna come back down, and maybe I don't think it's gonna go back and forth, but like it's kind of like that very, very peak where it's like, we got like pansexual and asexual and lumbersexual. Really? Okay, this girl was trying to explain to me the idea of being lumbersexual, which means you are attracted to males who dress and look a certain way, which is basically like very burly with a beard, plaid, muscular, but still attractive. So I'm like, oh, lumbersexual. So you mean heterosexual? No, it's only a specific. It's a guy. Like, okay, you're straight and you have a specific preference. But there's so many of these titles now, and like it's like, where do you draw the line of why can't I don't know. And as I said, I'm just questioning things. I don't know the answer, but it really confuses me. I think lumbersexual is a very stupid idea. I don't know if the fact that word even exists. Lumbersexual. No, you're not lumbersexual. You are, if you're a girl, I might have offended somebody. If you're a girl, you're heterosexual. If you're lumbersexual, it means you're attracted to this. So if you know what, I'm going back and forth with myself, and I'm trying to cover my bases so I don't offend anyone. I don't care. I'm just gonna say you're a straight girl, but you think you're lumbersexual. No, you're heterosexual. You just happen to have a specific preference. That's like me saying, oh, I'm not heterosexual, I'm blonde sexual. I only like blonde girls. It's a specific sexuality. No, it's not. You just have preferences. People have different preferences. Okay? Very dumb. There's all kinds of things girls have like that. That's just what I've heard recently. Pansexual. I heard something about this. And like I said, I'm just questioning things, but it's like you love everybody, but you're not attracted to anyone. Is that right? I don't want to make sure that's accurate. Pansexual. Oh, the first thing that comes up is meaning. Not limited in sexual choice with regard to biological. Okay, so that's not the answer I've been given. A group which is open to members of all sexual orientation, including straight, gay, lesbian. See, pansexual. So, sexually interested in groups regardless of gender or sexual orientation. Okay. So basically, you like whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Why can't we just have one word that encompasses everything? It's just so much. Could that be bisexual? See, but then you're offending someone because it's like, well, I'm trans. Oh my god, it's so much. And then we have metrosexual. That's a super old one. But it means you're a straight guy, but you just care about how you look. That would probably make me metrosexual. I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of silly meanings. List of sexual. I'm sure there's like a million. I'm sure there's a million different ones. I'm gonna Google list of sexual orientations. There's a lot. I'm interested. Oh my god. LGBTQQIIAA. Wow. Advocate, a person who actively works to end intolerance, educate others, and support social equity for a group. Maybe I'm being misadvocative. And for anyone being happy, you do you. If you want to do this, if you want to do that, like, it doesn't affect me. I don't care. Ally, a straight person who supports queer people. Do we really need a name for that? You're a straight person who supports queer people. Can't we just call that a nice person? Like why do we need a name for someone that is okay with another human being? That should just be a given. Why is that a thing? Androgyny, a gender expression that has elements of both masculinity and femininity, occasionally used in place of intersex to describe a person with both female and male anatomy. Okay, so that was another thing we talked about. Actually, with my training, it was like, masculinity is not limited to being macho, and I question that because it's like, well, saying like if your masculinity automatically means man, and I was thinking, no, it doesn't. The definition of masculine is for a specific type of man. And I'm not masculine. I don't consider myself to be. Having qualities or appearance traditionally associated with men, especially strength and aggressiveness. But the argument made against this definition, it was very similar to this, is that, well, masculine means men. Not all men are strong or aggressive. Therefore, that is an offensive definition. My argument to that is masculine does not necessarily mean you are man. It doesn't even mean like you're an alpha male. It's just a meaning to define someone who is particularly strong, particularly aggressive. It's a masculine feature. It's a biological thing, right? So it's looking at a biological trait. It's like I'm not trying to say. I think the definition is it's not trying to talk about men. It's a word for a certain type of behavior or attitude, right? Because like alpha male is often a thing. I hear all alpha male. An alpha male never copies anyone else. Often laid back until there's a need for action. An alpha male is fearless in necessary fight, and he's the best leader of men there is. But there are some things an alpha male never does. I love the idea of alpha male. It's so weird, because it's like, oh, this is yeah. It's really really cool if you talk about it, because like a lot of what we would assume is alpha male is masculine, is that definition, right? But realistically, I think really aggressive behavior and trying to show that you're strong is really not a sign of being an alpha male at all. Like I said, like what's the alpha male definition? A man tending to assume a dominant or domineering role in a social or professional situation. Like I said, signs of really like a lot of aggression. I think that often sometimes is almost a sign of not being like that kind of ideology, because it's like you are trying to prove yourself because of your insecurities. Where I think the idea of alpha male comes in is someone who's very, very confident, tending to assume you're a leader, a leadership position. Like I said, like that example actually tied in very well. Laid back until there's a need for action. You're not like, there's a great thing about little dogs, and it's like little dogs bark at everything. Meanwhile, big dogs are laid back until they need to be dominant, right? And that's a very good thing, because people who are insecure will get offended at everything. They'll get offended at everything, and they're not a leader, and they need to prove their insecurities through right, like a little dog. Oh my God, big human! I'm gonna bark at him to show you that I'm not scared of you. Really, that dog is extremely insecure of how much bigger you are than it, that it needs to, try to puff it up. But realistically, if you were to fight it, if you ever have ran at a little dog, they run away because, whereas big dogs are usually pretty chill. They just want to, unless they know that their owner is in danger. If you've ever seen a dog react, like if you've ever, I've seen moderate examples, but a guy I know from my mother's side of the family encountered a bear. He was walking through the woods, he saw a bear, and the dog got very, very aggressive, and it was a black bear. So if you're familiar with bears, I don't know, to deal with black bears are pretty timid. You make yourself huge, as big as possible, as loud as possible. So he did that, as did the dog. The dog barked and yelled, scared him off, right? So, just an example. Bears are crazy. Bears are scary. But I have an argument about bears. Most random podcast ever, by the way. Bears are actually not as tough as we like to make them out. Bears are only tough because they're big. It's like bears are like the kind of overweight, naturally strong guy that never works out. That's what bears are. The only reason bears are dangerous is because they're like 800, 900 pounds. If I was 900 pounds, I could probably fight a bear. I'm just saying. If you proportion me out to being, I guess, taller, bigger, and extremely more muscular to 800, 900 pounds, I could mess with a bear. I could take a bear. Because fighting a bear at 900 pounds, okay, I'm almost 200, like 185, so let's say 5 of me. Could 5 of me take a bear? Probably not. How much do bears weigh? How much do bears weigh? Okay. A grizzly is 1,500 pounds. So, let's do 1,500 divide 185. 8 of me. Could 8 of me fight a grizzly bear? I don't know. I feel like I think it might be a fair fight, though. Okay, 8 of me. So this is what's going to happen. The grizzly bear is going to charge, probably take 1 of us. 1 or 2 in the first thing. Meanwhile, we still have 7 or 6 of us, and this is like no weapons, right? So how about we get like... Nah, this is just bare knuckles. Literally bare knuckles. But I'd say the bear charges. This I think this would be a strategy. Is we'd have to have 1 of us. See, but we're smart. We have brains. It's just a straight up fight. Brains is always gonna win. 8 people would win against the grizzly because we'd have brains. But if it was just a strength kind of thing, it would probably take 1, and then the 7 of us could jump on it. Would we be able to take a friggin' grizzly bear? The questions we ask ourselves. 8 of me versus 1 grizzly bear. But what about 1 me that weighs 1,500 pounds? Okay, more proportions. Okay, so I weigh 150 pounds, 180 pounds. I can lift about 350 pounds. So 350, and I'm like very lanky. I'm not even times 8. So if you multiply me by 8, I could lift almost 3,000 pounds. So I think one version of me that is 8 times. I wouldn't want to be 8 times as big. I'd want to be like 5 or 6 times as big and then just more muscular. I could definitely take a grizzly bear. My point is, the only reason grizzly bears or bears in general are big and tough, scary, is because they're big. They're just fat. That's all they are. It's just you have a ton of weight. No, you don't win grizzly bear. You're a bitch, okay? Bears are bitches, and I'm calling them out. I'm not saying I could fight a bear, but I'm saying if I was proportional, if we were fighting in the same weight class, that's what I'm trying to get at, right? If we were fighting in the same weight class, I could take a bear, okay? I'm just saying. Like, think about a dog, okay? Dogs, like, like Great Danes, you get a really large Great Dane. I probably couldn't take a Great Dane. Great Danes are huge. You get those really big, like, big old Great Dane. Definitely couldn't outrun it. Probably would kill me. If we had equal weight class, a 180-pound Great Dane versus me, no. No. How much do, like, tigers weigh? How much do tigers weigh? Okay, a Bengal tiger weighs about 220 kilograms, which is about 20. Let's do 220 times 2.2. So about 500 pounds a tiger weighs. Okay. Oh my god, this is so interesting. We need to do these. We need to experiment. Would a tiger beat a bear? Definitely. Like a black bear? Yeah, tiger's gonna mess up a black bear. I've watched videos. This was a terrible video, but a man, he fell into a lion cage, and I think it was a tiger or a lion, was like kind of batting at him. He's like praying and he's praying, and the tiger's just kind of batting at him. And then all of a sudden, the tiger says, "You know what? I can eat this thing." Picks him by the neck, and in the most nonchalant, casual manner, just drags him away. It was like literally like me picking up this pillow and taking it away. Was just the ease that tiger just grabbed him and went. It was scary. It really makes you appreciate how strong those cats are. And again, could mess up a black bear. Tiger, no way would a black bear have any fight over a tiger. But the point I've got to think now is, what would win? Like a tiger? I don't want to just limit it to tiger. Tiger, jaguar, even a lion. What would win? That's the question. See, like I said, like a grizzly bear is like 3 times as big. But cats are so fast. All right, let's Google. I'm just going to Google tiger versus grizzly bear. Who would win? All right, we're just going to the first thing. Who would win in a fight? Grizzly bear or a tiger? My money would be honestly on the tiger, I think. Speed, right? It's speed. Because all that tiger has to do is grizzly bear's got a big old neck, but you just got to hit that one vein. Every animal's got it, right? Every mammal at least has got that vein going to the brain and back down, right? All you got to do is hit that. You're gone. Your jugular and the I can't remember. Subclavian artery, I think. Subclavian artery goes up, jugular vein goes down, something. All right. It all depends on the bear. Tigers don't range much in size and shape. They weigh up to 850 pounds and can stretch to over 12 feet. They're solitary animals. They're very also good at hearing. Bears, on the other hand, range dramatically in size. Some can weigh up to 1,700 pounds. Tigers include, okay. After hours of watching bears versus tigers video on YouTube in order of properly answer this so pressing question, discover the following. Tigers stalk their prey and attacked. They are watchful and always anxious about their next meal. Since they lose about 1/20th of the time they go hunting, they are likely to attack anything just for the heck of it. So they don't lose very often. Bears are nonplussed. They're quite secure in their very bareness. Like I said, they're bitches. They think they're awesome, and it's just because they're fat. And they won't attack unless provoked or trying to assert their dominance. They eat plants after all, and honey. But don't mess with a mom bear with cubs. Just don't. Made that mistake in Yosemite when I was 7 years old on a family vacation. Do not run. Slowly back away. Just saying. Avoid nervous giggling. If you climb a tree, get up over 4 to 5 feet. Remember to pull up your legs. A lot of misleading crap about bears versus tigers and bears versus tigers on YouTube, where the video ends with who wins, you decide. Here's one video. Okay. Tigers are remarkably agile and speedy. They can easily escape the clutches of a big brown bear or a polar bear if they can avoid the nasty paw swipe and fight another day. When tigers go in for a kill, they go for the jugular, sinking in their teeth to crush the neck of the prey. Once they've paralyzed or disabled them, they eat for the tasty hindquarters. Tigers don't have a particularly developed sense of taste or smell, and they'll eat anything. Bears don't seem to be all interested in tiger meat, so my bet is on the tiger 9 times out of 10. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, bears got all that size, but like pound per pound, a bear has nothing. They're awful. They're just bad. Tiger, badass. I think like our cats, like large cats, would those be the best animals? I mean, is there really any other animal that is his dominance? Like, I mean, humans, obviously. Humans are the most dominant creatures on the planet. I mean, it's obvious. And it's not for our strength, it's for our brains. You know, like we've created a handgun. The handgun is just simply an extension of the brain. The brain has developed a way for it to be better. It's so cool, right? But the brain is, you know, guns, tanks, helicopters. It's all just an extension of the brain. The brain said, hey, this would make our meat wagon do better, so we are gonna, you know, build this. We're gonna do a spear, and hey, wouldn't it be better if we you know, shot the spears from a sling? And then it's like, hey, why don't we make like siege weapons? And then, hey, why don't we make swords? And then, you know, nice big thing. And then, hey, why don't we use this exploding powder stuff that projects things? And like, let's improve upon that and improve upon that and improve upon that. And I mean, that's where we are now. We're just bullets, but it's all just an extension of the brain, which is our biological thing. So it's kind of cool how that has predominated everything else, even though tigers are so much more badass. But said other like physically, you're just looking at our body. But again, like I'm saying, the brain counts. But realistically, like if it was like just your physical self, obviously humans are so weak. I mean, humans are so weak versus things like apes. That's what. That's like the only other thing. Large apes, gorillas, monkeys aren't. Well, monkeys are pretty strong. Oh, I have never watched videos about ape attacks, but I've heard there's some very bad ones, like people getting their faces ripped off. I think apes often go for the genitals. They rip your balls off because it's like you're fighting. You know, obviously for breeding and stuff. If I rip this guy's balls off, it doesn't even matter if I fight him now because he's, you know, he can't breed. I got all the women now. That's the thing. I don't know what would win, a tiger or tiger. Let's Google that. This is a very interesting podcast. Tiger versus Sherman, bear, lion. What is the strongest? What is the strongest animal? Blue whale. A pure brute strength, blue whale is the strongest in the world. Okay, but pound per pound, definitely not. The second is the African elephant. They're strongest land animals on Earth. They're tusks. They can lift objects up to 300 pounds. See, but that's not, you know, it just because you're strong doesn't mean you're, ox, tiger, gorilla. A gorilla is the strongest, like, humanoid type animals. Okay, so let's go tiger versus gorilla. I like this. Who would win? Siberian tiger versus silverback gorilla. Tiger wins. If a silverback gorilla were to ever get pitted against a Siberian tiger, both animals would be cautious in making the first move. The gorilla would try to stand as large as possible, pound its chest, and yell as loud as it could in order to try and scare off the tiger. This plan would backfire and incite the cautious tiger into attacking. The huge cat would pounce and straight for the ape's throat. With the gorilla caught off guard, the tiger is able to avoid gorilla's powerful arms and get inside. The gorilla ferociously tries to bite at the tiger, but it's too late. The tiger sticks its 4-inch canine teeth through the neck of the gorilla. The fight is over. I believe that. Gorillas are scary, though. I don't know if you guys have seen that video on YouTube. I might be able to show that, actually. It's like... I don't want to look for it, but there's a video, and it's like... people at the zoo, and I think someone was on the glass, and they did like this one. They did the, the pound the chest, and the gorilla sees it, and is like, oh, you want to flex on me? And he just kind of bounds over, and boom, hits the glass, like... doesn't shatter, but cracks. And it's like, what's up, motherfucker? Like, you want to go? Yeah. Humans are weak at the end of the day. That's I don't know. It just fascinates animals fascinate me in general. I think they're crazy. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that nonsense. I got one more topic. I think I got room for one more topic today. That was a nice flow. Random topics, but nice flow. I got something about me and my channel. I had an insight about me and my channel. Actually, I do want to talk about that a little bit. I had a really good insight. I always say, like, yeah, I don't like I've always felt this way. Is like, look, I think I make good videos to be a pretty good sized YouTuber, but it always like blows my mind that I'm one of the biggest zombies people now, and that like people really look at me legit and say like like you deserve 1 million subscribers, all that stuff, and like the growth I've had over the last year. I really like I always find it weird because I'm like, why me over everybody else? And I came up with the conclusion last night. And it's nice to finally have an answer because, like I said, I've always just been like, well, why me? Like, what did I do special, right? Because it's just, I don't know. Like, I think I make good videos. I think I work hard, but it's like proportionally, I don't think I work hard as, like that much harder. I don't think I make that much better videos that has made me get, a significant amount more subscribers over some other people in the zombies community, which, by the way, I love them all. But I'm just saying, like I said, like I oftentimes I will feel undeserving of where I'm at with my channel because I know people who have been at it longer than me, and I don't know if they worked harder than me. I work pretty damn hard at YouTube, but I just ask why me. I've always asked why me. And you could say like, well, I've been making videos for 8 years now. It's my break. I deserved it. I'm awesome, whatever. But I've never really had a clear-cut answer for myself, and I finally came up with one. And it makes so much sense once I thought about it. Since Black Ops 2 ended, so let's say like Origin, like 2 months after Origins dropped, I have uploaded the most Black Ops 2 Zombies content out of anyone on YouTube. I didn't realize that. I was thinking about it though, because the way I thought about it was like, okay, well, like, why am I different? A lot of people did awesome in Black Ops 2, and then they left zombies. A lot of people did awesome at Black Ops 2 and just left YouTube entirely, right? And I stuck with it. And a lot of people went off to custom zombies if they stayed with zombies, but a lot more of them went to GTA or just, like I said, ditched off, went to other games, whatever. But there was like a good 10 to 20 of us that stuck with zombies. And of that 10 to 20 of us, there was like, I mean, how many of us stuck with Black Ops 2? Most people went to the people that went to zombies, stayed with zombies, went to customs for the most part. And people don't like customs as much as they like normal zombies because they can't relate to it. They've never played it before. They don't know the map as well. So to me, it was kind of like, wait a second. Hardly anyone has stuck with Black Ops 2 zombies the entire time. And I realized the only two people that I would argue have stuck with Black Ops 2 zombies all the way through is me and Lex. There's really no one else. Like, I'm not trying to down anybody. I'm not trying to say, but it's just an observation I made that most people have gone over to customs or doing other channels or stuff like that. And I realized, like, hey, like, really, the only people that have stuck with it all the way through is me and Lex. Adam, 2 Pro View Games, I mean, he is very, very on that as well. But like I said, he did a little bit of customs as well. Whereas me, I would like 95+% of my videos is Black Ops 2 zombies. Well, I shouldn't say 95% of is Black Ops 2 zombies, but is Call of Duty zombies, not modded. So World at War, maps like Nacht, Verrückt, all the way through to Origin. It's those maps. And like I said, I think I really, like, I don't want to offend anyone or call anyone out, but I think me and Lex are the only two. And then it's like, all right, like Lex is doing well. I'm doing pretty well. That makes sense. I don't know. I don't know why I'm saying this. I don't know why I'm trying to explain it. It was just a really like comforting thing to realize, like, yeah. And then additionally onto that, I've done daily uploads since December 4th, 2012. I've missed one day since that. This December 4th will be 3 years, and I will only have missed one video, one day of uploading. And that's the thing. So it was like consistent in Black Ops 2. And it was like that clicked in my head, and it was like good. It was like, okay. Like I almost felt guilty. I'm a very like humble guy, and like I want everyone to do awesome. And it's like when you're doing really well and your channel's just crushing it, it's like, this is awesome, but it's like I almost feel bad about it. And it's like, why me? Like, what did I do different? And just to have an answer kind of eased my guilt a little bit about it. And it was like really, really good for me. So in that sense, it was kind of like, yeah. And I guess the takeaway from that is, if you do what everybody else does, you'll get what everybody else has. And that is going to be my final thing I want to talk about this podcast. If you do what everybody else does, you'll get what everybody else has. The thing I noticed most of this is on YouTube. But I mean, I really think it applies to everywhere. The zombies community is a great example. A lot of people like to do zombies news, and it's like everybody does zombies news, and I don't do zombies news. The reason I don't do it, I used to do it, but the reason I don't do it anymore is because I got tired of it. It was boring, and also I don't have a need to do it on my channel. I think a big reason people do news in general on YouTube is because it's easy views, and I've managed to work into a way of my channel where people aren't looking for news; they're looking for gameplay. They're looking for content, for me trying to be an entertainer more so as an information source. And that was the greatest sort of decision I made. I mean, Black Ops 2 ended. Everybody jumped onto Black Ops, or no, it's not Black Ops 3, GTA. And it's funny because I look at the people who jumped onto GTA, and I can only think like one guy that it has really worked out in his favor, who left zombies, went to GTA, and it's Noah J456. He's crushing it. But pretty much everyone else who left zombies to go to GTA got screwed over, because a lot of them were doing glitches, and then Rockstar's like, no, you can't do that. So that screwed over a whole bunch of people. And then they just ran out of content there too, and it's like, sucks to suck. The guys who have stuck with zombies are, I mean, there was a dry spot. There was definitely a dry spot. Some of us have been able to kind of make stuff work, and I always owe that to Lex like 100 times over. But it's kind of just like, it's kind of like cool, because I remember I even faced this situation where it was like, do I want to go to GTA? And I even tried it. I really tried to make GTA videos, and I was like, I just don't like this. I don't want to do this for a year until Black Ops 2 Zombies comes out. I was just like, I can't, it was like, I just can't do this. I'm not going to enjoy it. And I was like, you know what? Like, if I'm not going to enjoy it, it's not going to last on my channel. I got to do what I enjoy. I enjoy zombies. So I just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do a little bit of extension as it comes out throughout the months. I'm just going to stick with zombies. And that ended, it's funny because I was like, I don't think this is a good choice. But like I said, I think long term, I'll enjoy YouTube more. I didn't do it for the views because there were no views in zombies. I didn't do it for anything other than the fact that it was what I wanted to do. And I really thought it was a dumb decision. I was like, you know what? I could probably do better. In short term, I probably could have. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do what I want to do. Ended up being the best decision I ever made on my channel, because now I've got a pretty successful-ish channel that is doing exactly what I want to do. Now, I would say top fives I'm kind of burnt out on. It's not really burnt out, it's more just the fact that I don't have anything to make videos at this point. So I'm kind of slowing that down so Black Ops 3 comes out. I'm sure you've probably noticed I've been kind of doing like every 2 weeks, probably like 2 out of 3 weeks I've been doing it. So it's like 1 week, like of the month. I guess of the month, like 3 to 2 ish. I don't know. It's weird, but 2/3 ish. Like 4/7 is a good number. 4/7 of the time. A little bit more than half of the time, but basically, like, it's awesome. Like, I always was like so. It just it. I don't know. I'm not trying to be like super advice, but like I found. I mean, maybe it was just luck. I said again, like I'm not trying to like make myself less, but like maybe it's luck. But whatever. Is like doing what you enjoy. I think is the most important thing. So zombies is what I enjoyed, and I stuck with it, and it's like so cool to see that actually work out. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. And then we have Black Ops 3 Zombies coming in November, and I'm excited. I'm excited. It's just it's like dual excitement, because if I was just a normal gamer, new Zombies coming out, it would be like solid 8 or 9 out of 10. But the fact we have that paired in with YouTube is like a 12. So it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be freaking beautiful. So yeah, if you do what everyone else does, you get what everyone else has. Be unique, find your own way. But man, a lot of it's luck, I will say. I think it's luck, but the harder you work, the luckier you'll get. You can make your own luck. Like, if you upload once a week, you're not going to be very lucky. But if you upload every day, you're going to improve your chances that one video is going to get out there and is going to do really well. And hopefully you can recreate those videos over and over again. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'll end it there, guys. That's an hour. It's been real. I always love doing these. This is a Wednesday. Back at school. It sucks. But it's hard. I like, my whole life I've been like kind of programmed that school is the most important thing in my life. And now being back at school wants to take priority again, and I have to tell myself, no, Patrick, YouTube. Which is weird because I love YouTube, obviously, but I always want to make it a secondary thing, a second primary thing. Because normally what it'd be like, okay, I gotta do my homework, then I'll make a video. Now it's, I gotta make a video, then I'll get to my homework if I have the time. And like, I'm not trying, it's always bad. I feel like I'm being a bad example. But no, this is the thing people make the mistake of. I'm gonna end it here, but people make the mistake of quitting their jobs and trying to go to YouTube full time when they have like 10,000 subscribers and they're making like $100 a month. It's like, you can't do that. You have to bet on yourself, right? But people bet on themselves thinking, I'm gonna throw everything away and I'm gonna work on this and it has to work. No, that's stupid. Have a backup plan. And your backup plan should probably be number one. Maybe not number one in your head, but like for me last year at school was always my number one. I mean, grade 11, it was number one. Grade 12, it was number one. Even after my channel started taking off and I was doing quite well, school was my number one. And now that it's like, really YouTube is like taking off and we have Black Ops 3, it's like, okay, if school were to fail, my main plan is like a backup plan now. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like, it was like, if YouTube were to fail, I have my backup plan, which is school, get a business degree and all that stuff. But now it's like YouTube is my number one. It's like, if school were to fail, I'll do YouTube. If YouTube were to fail, I guess I can go back to school. When YouTube fails, because eventually it will. But it's like, bet on yourself, but stack the deck in your favor. Don't throw everything else out the window. Like if you're trying to make if you're trying to make the transition from amateur to professional at anything like sports, it's like it's smart to have a backup plan and be doing that backup plan the same time as you're doing that passion. You can't just quit everything and just focus on one thing. You have to. It's just, I see people do that all the time. Like, quit their job, I'm gonna do YouTube full time. Can you do YouTube full time right now at this current moment? Well, no, but I'm going to work to that. Well, then no, you shouldn't quit your job because you have responsibilities, you stupid idiot. But I don't know. Bet on yourself, but be smart about it. Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. It's always good to do these. I have showered twice today, and I'm so sweaty. I think I might have to go shower again. That is living in res, but also making videos. We have to close your doors and all that stuff. I got the important part out. Oh my god, I want to keep talking. This was the best part of my day. This is going to be the best part of my day. So thank you for watching the peak of my day. Oh, that's a little sad now. It's never going to be as good. But you know what? Going to sleep is always a great feeling. I love just that accomplished for the day, going to bed. That's always a great feeling too. So I have that to look forward to. But yeah, the creation of YouTube videos is the best part of my day all the time. I love it. I love doing YouTube. I don't love every part of YouTube. I don't like answering emails and all that dumb administrative stuff. But making videos is the greatest part of all. And I just did that, and I'm happy about it. So thank you guys for watching. I think that's it. I don't know what that was supposed to be. All right. Peace out. Swag. No. Okay, that's bad. Just bye. I suck at it. I suck at outros. Goodbye. And I didn't hit the button. Wow. Okay. Goodbye.